So I'm gonna title this: Are we having conversations or are we having arguments? And where does this start? Okay, I was on this girl. One of this girls, she's on my podcast. You know what? Let me just say podcast. Her name is Cosmos Jumps. Not gonna give you a real name, but if you watch the podcast, the name she gives everybody is Cosmos Jumps. So, and this really has nothing to do with her specifically, but okay, we had to talk about the whole maxi pad situation, them taking the Venus symbol off and all the other stuff. In my personal opinion, I don't wear pads. I don't have an opinion. Let's just say that. That's also not my problem. I feel like that's something women and the trans community, that's their problem. They have to settle that. Men, that's not really our problem. It's not our place to talk about it. We don't wear, as far as pads, don't wear. Now, me saying that, the whole thing is about men get periods too, because people look at men as men, and everybody's like gender is a stigma. That's why we got all this cisgender shit. So okay, so here's my stance about this, and if I get, and this is where people actually get. This is where the whole "are we having an argument? We have a conversation" thing. If you are, I am a man. If I and I am a man, or if you are a man and you transition over to, being a woman, in my eyes, you are still a man. Now, do I want to cause harm? Now, when I say this, do I want to cause harm to you? No. Do I want you to not live your life? No. You should be able to live your life however you want to, but do not force your pronouns on me. And this is where a lot of men, I feel like this is what men are saying, but a lot of people don't understand when men are saying this. You can call yourself whatever you want. There was a man that said he thought he was a fucking bear until he went to a fuck. And I don't know if this is a true story or not, but I've heard this was a true story. He always thought he was a fucking bear. So he acting like a bear and all that shit. When that nigga went to the fucking woods to go chill with the fucking bears, nigga got mauled by bears. Ain't no fucking bear. All right. I thought he was stupid. That's where it ends. Okay. As far as its community, do I again? And I'm gonna repeat this because and the thing is, it's not that this is just opinions or me spouting out. A lot of people don't look this up. There's science that back this up. There's XY. Men have XY chromosomes, and then women has XX. This is how you figure out if you're a boy or girl. This is not something that men just brought up and all that other stuff. Okay, as far as sex goes, sex is so fucking. We're like snowflakes. All right, each and every one of us is each and every individual is different. Excuse me, I just ate. Just like snowflakes. Everybody is different in a sort of way. There are some people that maybe follow the same rules. Yes. Or, they have the same type of laws. And here's the thing with men. And this is what a lot of women, and I'm really sure people in the LGBT doesn't get. If it doesn't logically click with us, we're not with it. Or we're not going to say we're with it. If it does not, and I repeat this, if it does not logically click with us, we're not for it. A lot of times we're not for it. Now, at the same time, are there people that probably cause harm to you because they're gay? Yes, but we don't condone them. I don't condone them as men. You should not, just because a person want to do it, as long as you're not harming somebody, as long as it doesn't have to involve kids, and which is another thing. And I've done said this in pretty videos before. As long as it doesn't involve kids, and as long as you're not harming nobody, I don't care what the fuck you do. Now the whole thing about kids thing, I know. Look, I don't care if I have a son and he wants to transition to a girl, I'm going to tell him when you are as long as you're under my house, and that was probably another part of this conversation because of man, he did. I guess his child wanted to transition to a girl and all that stuff, or people was telling him that he wanted to transition, but he was not going to let him, and then the mother was going to do it. Personally, I think that's the mother was, and this is. I feel like this has nothing to do with the kid, and more or less doing the mother trying to do something in spite of her husband, because I do feel like women do things in spite of their husband instead of doing stuff for the greater good. As far as the kids goes, until you're 18, if you're under my house until you are 18, you can have whatever fucking cosmetics surgery you go ahead transition to the woman and all that other stuff. You do that when you're 18, when you're an adult. But as long as you're under my house, under 18, no. I'm not making you transition to a girl. No. Don't make your life harder than it is. All right. In my opinion. And a lot of, if anybody thinks that's bigoted, a lot of trans, they could tell you this shit is hard for them. I'm not going to make you go through that. Sometimes I just do it. A lot of people, you may not like what some parents do, but I do realize that some things that parents do, they do it for your protection. All right, they do it for your protection. A lot of trans people, like, they die in suicide. All right, especially because they feel like they don't belong, or they just feel like now, I'm not saying everybody. I said some of them feel like they're freaks and all that other stuff. Why do I feel this way and all that stuff? They don't really know who they are anymore and all that stuff. A lot of them commit suicide. I'm not going through that with my child. All right, I pray I do not go through that with my child. If the child wants to be gay, so be it. I would love him the same. If you want to be trans, I would love him the same. But at the same time, when you're 18, you do whatever the fuck you want. But I feel like most men are like this. So what kind of caused this argument? This nothing had to do with her, but the people in there, and they called him a bigot. And now, don't get me wrong, most men that do think this, they don't really think really clearly, or it's not a Ben Shapiro, because Ben Shapiro, he doesn't give a fuck about your feelings. If the facts are true, you don't fuck your feelings. And that's another part. We're about facts. I'm not saying because human beings are about facts, and everybody's like, oh, there's human beings. Unless you have studies that will back you up, and then there are studies that mostly back up the whole XY chromosome, XX chromosome. You could say what gender is, or you call people cisgender and all that other stuff and all that. But if me personally, if you are a man and you transition over to a woman, to me, you are not a woman. You are a man. But that does not mean I am going to fuck you up, or like do you any harm. You live your life, boo boo. But if you want me to call you by these pronouns, because tell you the truth, I don't have to. But that doesn't mean I don't disrespect you. This is just me. To me, it's just how can I say it? To me, look, I have my own thoughts. I have my own opinions, and sometimes I'm not gonna. And this is another thing that I feel like a lot of LGBT get at straight men for, because we're not going to sway our way of thinking to make you feel comfortable, because we don't have to. First of all, we don't have to, and that's the beauty part of America. I don't have to. As long as, like I said, to me, as long as I don't put my hands on you, or try to or like influence you to kill yourself and all that other shit, it's like it's not my problem. If you're feeling mad that I don't want to call you by she, and I think you're a man, that is your problem and not mine. You don't ever have to see me again, or you don't ever have to think about it again. Now, some people make me think that's a bigot. I personally do. I don't personally do, because it's one, and people try to compare it to race, but there are people that just don't like you because you're black. That's another thing. I said, just because I don't call you by your, I will call you by saying I don't hate you, but this just, to me, I'm repeating myself. Yeah, I get the point. I didn't said this many times. So I feel like Now, what most people, and I hate doing this, I feel like no one really asked them, why do you feel like that? And that's the problem. I think that's the problem with most other people who support LGBT rights. Instead of asking people, why do you feel like this? Why why would you not call them by his pronoun and all that other stuff? Why, instead of you call them bigots and all that other stuff, you want to start some shit with them. Okay, go out there. Anyway, I feel like, and this is the real problem. It's not the fact that you don't like the fact that I'm not calling you by your pronoun. It's that you don't give a damn that I'm not. Is like, or you care too much, or how can I say this? You gotta don't give a damn, or you care too much. Wherever fits that purpose, but instead of just like understanding where or agreeing and disagree, you don't call me a bigot. And that's what I feel like a lot of people are left. I feel like that's what a lot of left leaning people do. They call you a bigot and then do away with you instead of like understanding. Sitting there is like, how come you don't want to call me, or what is the reason why you don't want to call me by, that pronoun? Now, most men, they're not really eloquent with their conversation, so you might not get an eloquent answer. But at the same time, I feel like we should all just understand each other. All right, if you're like, if that's your way you want to live in your life, and I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna end this because I've always said I want to have a conversation with someone that's part of the KKK and or racist, and I want to ask them, why do you feel this way? Me personally, like no one else has to do it, but I do want to sit there and have a conversation with a Klan member one day, and that's just me. I don't like the Ku Klux Klan, but I do want to have some conversation with them. Try not to repeat myself, but let me know what y'all think. Maybe we could get to some answers because I really do. If anybody reads this or anybody use this, if anybody sees this, excuse me, and let's have a good quality discussion and let's try to understand each other better. And that's all I really want, to us to understand each other better, because I feel like we're not understanding each other. We're fighting each other for no, and the fight does not need to happen. So let me know what y'all think. Till then, my name is Oskino Fly, and I'm out. Peace.